Hello and welcome to FA Learning. My name is Rabi Alam, and today I'm going to talk about friction loss in pipe and fitting. So let's start now. Frictional loss or frictional resistance in a pipe is depend on following these 3 points. Right, those 3 points are crucial for the friction loss. The first one, it's independent of the pressure in the pipe. It doesn't depend on the pressure inside the pipe. The second one is depend on how much amount of water is flowing inside a pipe, right? So it depends on the quantity of the flow. For example, if you are uh, pushing water to flow inside a 2-inch pipe, a 500 GPM flow inside a 2-inch pipe, we need higher pressures to put that one. And at the same time, we have higher frictional loss. So we have to be careful regarding the size of the pipe and amount of the flow so that we can avoid the friction loss in the piping. The last one, frictional resistance depend on the velocity, right? Now under the velocity, it depends based on the velocity, like critical velocities, right? If it is above the critical velocities, frictional loss is proportional to second power of the velocities, and if it is below the critical velocity, frictional loss depend on the first power of the velocity. So what is critical velocities, right? The next question. Critical velocity of a fluid is the velocity at which fluid flow turns from streamline to turbulence, from laminar flow to the turbulent flow. So if it's going from laminar to the turbulent flow, it means it is critical velocities, above the critical velocities, right? Okay, now moving on to the formula which we are going to discuss in this slide. We have three friction loss formula, right? The first one, we have the Chezy equations, then we have the Darcy-Weisbach formulas, and the last one, we have Hazen-Williams formula, right? Hazen-Williams friction loss formula. We'll discuss all those one by one. The first one, we have the Chezy equation, right? One of the best and oldest expression. It relates velocity to friction loss in piping is known as Chezy formulas. The formula, we have velocity equals to C under root R into S, right? Where C is a factor that depends on the kind and roughness of the pipe. R is the hydraulic radius, or we can say area over circumstance, D by 4. D is the diameter in feet, and S is the hydraulic slope, right? Height, H by L. If you put all those values into the same equation, we can come here, V equals to C under root D by 4 into H by L, or we can rearrange the formula H equals to 4 LV square over C square, this, right? Now, use of this formula was limited by uncertainties related to evaluation of C factor, right? Which is not constant for a given size, conduit, or wall condition as it was originally taught. So this formula is no longer used in fire protection engineering, right? So we are not using this formula, and we are left to only the next two formula. We have the Darcy-Weisbach formulas, right? And in the Darcy-Weisbach formula, head loss equals to FLV square over 2D2Z, right? This is the formula for this is the formula for Darcy-Weisbach, right? HL equals to FLV square over D into 2G, right? Now, if you know the diameter of the pipe, length of the pipe, and velocity, right? G is the constant, right? So we have to find the frictional factors, which is 64 by RE, which is Reynolds number. But this Reynolds number, 64 by RE, is applicable only for the laminar flow. But for the turbulence flow, we have to use the Moody diagram that what we'll discuss in a while. Now, to find the frictional factor for Reynolds flow, we can use the formula Reynolds number equals to diameter of the pipe, velocity, and density over viscosity, right? So we can use this formula to find frictional factor for Reynolds number, for laminar flow. Now moving on to the next, we have, right, we have to discuss a little bit about regarding the background of the Darcy-Weisbach formula, right? This formula is a variation of the Cheji formula with a frictional factor F replacing the C. Remember, we discussed in the Cheji equations that due to the uncertainties into the C factor, we are not using this formula anymore into fire protection service. And the Darcy-Weisbach formula we used mostly where we required, where density and viscosity may fluctuate due to variation in temperature. Something like in cold region where there is temperature going in minus and plus due to the season to season, and it is not constant. So in those regions, we have to use the Darcy-Weisbach formula. Right? And this formula is suitable for all Newtonian fluid. Now, Newtonian fluid is like water, mineral oil, gasoline, or alcohol. A Newtonian fluid is one where the viscosity is constant at a specific temperature, regardless of pressure and the rate of shear. Right? This is the definition of the Newtonian fluid. Now, moving on further into NFVA 30 requirement for the Darcy-Weisbach formula, right? NFVA 13 does not require the use of this formula for calculating friction loss for water-only system, not some other kind of the chemical or antifreeze solution. But for antifreeze system greater than 40 gallons in size, the friction loss shall also be calculated using the Darcy-Weisbach formulas as for NFVA 13, chapter 23, 4213, right? And in the foam application as required by NFVA 11 or 16. So this formula is only applicable for antifreeze solutions and for the antifreeze solution and the foam application, right? Where we have the normal water without any kind of the impurity, any kind of the mixing of the antifreeze solution or the chemicals, we have the next one, right? But before going on, we have to discuss regarding the Moody diagram, right? Remember, we discussed regarding the Moody, regarding the frictional loss, that if we have turbulent flow, if we have a laminar flow which is below 2000 Reynolds number, we can use this formula, F equals 64 by RE. But if we have turbulent flow mean higher than that, we have to use the Moody diagram. Now here we have the Moody diagram, right? The left side, we have the frictional factor, right? And the right side, we have the roughness of the pipe, right? Which is equals to epsilon E by D. We'll discuss that one in a while. Which is relative pipe roughness. And at the bottom, we have Reynolds number, right? At the bottom, we have a Reynolds number. So in the laminar flow, we can simply use the formula F equal to 64 by RE if you found the Reynolds number here, and we can simply we can simply put this value of F to this equation, right? And we can have a solutions. But now, if we have turbulent flow, it is more complex. It's more complex than the one we have. Right? So it is more complex than the one we discussed into the beginning. So here in the left, we have the frictional factor, right? In the right, we have a relative pipe roughness, epsilon E by D. And up to this region, we have laminar flow, right? Up to 2000, we have the laminar flow all the way to bottom. And after that, we have transition regions. There is transition region, and then we have the complete turbulence or turbulence flow. So if we want to find, if we have a turbulence flow and if we want to find the head loss in a pipe, then we have to use these formulas. We have to use the same formula. The one we have, head loss equals to FLB square by D into 2Z. But for the frictional factor, we have to use this diagram to get to a exact values. Let's say, for example, if we calculated that the Reynolds number equals to 10 to the power fifth, right? 10 to the power 5, and we have a relative pipe roughness of 0.005, right? We found this one. So what we have to do, we have to go directly from here all the way to the top, right? This location, and from here we are coming, sorry, we are coming up at this location, right? From 0.005, and then directly go to the left side here. So we can say the frictional factor F is 0.03 for a Reynolds number of 10 to the power fifth and relative pipe roughness of 0.005. This is how we have to use the Moody diagram. It's very complex than the laminar flow. In the laminar flow, we just have to use this formula and we can have the solution. Okay, so this is all about the Moody diagram. If you have any comments regarding this diagram, you can put your comment into the YouTube link, and I will be explain in details for you, right? Okay, so we just discussed regarding the roughness factor. We have E by D here, right? This is E by D. Just wait a moment. Erase all links. Okay, we have E by D here, right? So this roughness factor, from where we can get the value of epsilon, right? So here we have a tables, right? This table I have taken from the fire protection handbook. I hope so, yeah, from fire protection handbook. Here we have the first column, we have the types of the pipe, right? If you can see, we have all different types of the pipe. We have the concrete pipe, cast iron, galvanized iron, wrought steel, wrought iron, steel piping, plastic, copper, all the way to the bottom, right? So the value of E we can take here, right? We have to take the design values into our calculations. If you can see, for the galvanized iron, we have value of E is 500, right? So this is multiplied by 10 to the power minus 6, 500 into 10 to the power minus 6, and whatever value comes, that in feet, we can take that value in the feet. And this is how we have to take the value of E from this formula. We can find the similar tables to various NFPA codes, like NFPA 13 we can get, NFPA other codes like 24, we can have those values, or this value we can also take from the data sheet of the product. So to find the relative pipe roughness, which is equal to epsilon E over D, right? Just use the formula and we can have some solution for that one. If you use the formula E from data sheet or from this table, right? Let's say we have 500 at this location. So it's not 500, it is 500 into 10 to the power minus 6, right? Because the value we have to multiply into 10 to the power minus 6, and now we will come to into feet, and then take the diameter in the feet. We got some RPR values. Directly from that RPR values, go on to these levels, find the Reynolds number, and go to the frictional factor. We have done, right? So this is all about the Moody diagram. Okay, the last one we have Hagen-Williams formula, the most common used in fire protection hydraulics. It has been developed by experiment and experience, right? This formula depends on C factors, diameter, and the flow through a pipe. If you can see the formula we have, right? Here we have formula P equals to 4.52 into Q to the power 1.85 over C to the power 1.85 D to the power 4.87, right? So if you can see the formula in the denominator and the denominators, right? We have the frictional factor depend on the flow and C, which is the C factor, and the diameters, right? So just imagine for a moment, right? If we have higher flow at the top, right, and our diameter and the C factor of the pipe is fixed, if the flow is higher, the value of the P, which is the frictional loss, we are going to get higher. This is why I said in the beginning, if you want to flow water through if water is flowing through a pipe, we have to be careful regarding the amount of flow, right, the diameter of the pipe, so that we can minimize the frictional loss into that one. by using this formula, where we have the frictional resistance in psi per feet, Q in GPM, C is the frictional loss coefficient, and D is the actual diameter of pipe. The most common we have used the Hazen-Williams formula, except where we have the problem with the antifreeze solutions, the chemical additives and all, we have to use the Darcy-Weisbach formula. Okay, so the C value for the Hazen-Williams, I have taken the two tables. The one in the left is from the fire protection handbook. The one in the right, it is from NFPA 13, chapter 23, 4481 tables, right? We can take any values, but for a moment, I'm just going to assume for the table in the right, right? You can see we have different pipes, cast iron, 10 years, 15 years, 20, 30, 50, and so on. We have three different values, A, B, and C, if you can try and find that one. The first one is for the water which is mildly corrosive, right? The second one we have for the moderate corrosive water, and the last one we have with water which is very severe corrosive. In the right we have the value of C factor. From NFPA 13, if you can see, we have galvanized steel pipe, plastic, cement line, cast or ductile irons. We have copper tube, asbestos, concrete, all those five we can find here, right? Now, this table in the right from NFPA 13, chapter 23, this data they have taken for the old piping, not for the new piping, because they want to make sure that even after 20 years, that the pipe should be equal as it is designed, right? So these values and the value in the left, you can see there might be some kind of the fluctuations, right? And you know, if the AJ want to use the other C factors, they can use the other C factors. Okay, now we have a frictional loss in pipe. We have a table. This table you can find in NFPA various scores where we need that one. We can find in this one I have taken from fire protection handbook, right? Now we'll be discussing how to read the values from this diagram and how can we use this one without using those formulas, the one we discussed in the beginning, right? The first column we have flow in GPM, all these values for the GPM. And then we have the pipe size, right? We have a pipe size all the way starting from ½ inch to, in this table I have taken only up to 4 inch, but you can find up to 12 inch and so on in fire protection handbook. So how we are going to use the values, right? And this frictional factor they have given in PSI per 100 feet of the pipe. So these values are for 100 feet of the pipe, right? And based on a Hazen-Williams C factor of 100. So this table is only based on C factor of 100. If we have C factor higher than 100 or lower than 100, we have another formula to utilize this table effectively, right? Notes number 2 we have, these calculations are based on internal pipe diameter of a schedule 40 steel pipe, right? For pipe sizes ½ inch to 3½ inch. And the nominal pipe diameter they have taken from pipe sizes from 4 to 30 inch. That one we'll discuss in a while. Now let's assume for a moment how to use this formula, right? Suppose we have a, let's say we want to flow 500 GPM into a 2½ inch pipe, right? (500 GPM) not into 2½ inch pipe, 500 GPM into let's say if we are taking 500 GPM, okay, we have 500 GPM here to a pipe size of 3 inch, right? So just go from this table all the way, come to the bottom and intersect these 2 points. This is our values, right? If you want to flow 500 GPM into a 3 inch pipe, we have frictional loss of 42 PSI for 100 feet because the pipe size is very less. If you are going further more to 4 inch, right, all the way to 4 inch, see here, it is 4 inch pipe. We have a frictional loss of 10.4 PSI for 100 feet. Now you can see from 3 inch to 4 inch, we have almost 4 times less friction loss compared to the beginning of the compared to the previous pipe. This is how I said, if you are designing a fire protection system, you have to be very confident regarding selecting the size of the pipe, size of the pump unit, right? Because if you are using the high diameter pipe, it's a waste of the money. At the same time, you need pumping capacities. So the economics of those will be not as in a professional manner. So a best designer is one who is using everything based on the economics, based on the design and professionalism into his calculation to choose the correct size pipe for the correct applications and the correct size of the fire pump unit, right? So this formula we have to find simply the frictional loss based on the flow and size of the pipe. Now, as I discussed, this formula is best for a C factor of 100 and say schedule 40 steel pipe. If it is different types of the properties compared to this assumption, we have to use other formula. Let's move on to that, right? The first one, we have conversion factors for friction loss in pipe for values of coefficient other than 100, right? The previous table, this one, based on C factor of 100. Now, if we have C factor different than these values, right, we have to use the C factor. Let's say if we have C factor of 150, right, C factor of 150, we have to multiply that one by 0.472, right? This is how we have to this is how we have to use that table. And we have some of the exercise, don't worry, we'll discuss that one in a while. The next one we have, right, remember I said that table based on the C factor of 100 and schedule 40 carbon steel pipe. Now, how about if you have some different types of the pipe, maybe ductile iron or cast iron pipe, maybe a plastics pipe. So we have to use this formula, right, which is change in pressure absolute, change in actual friction loss, right, equals to dP40 over d40 by dA to the power 4.87, where delta PA is actual friction loss, delta P40 is the friction loss in schedule 45, that is fixed. D40 is the internal diameter of the schedule 45 and dA is the internal diameter of the actual pipe. So this formula at this moment may look something not familiar, but we'll solve that one in a while so that we can find it easily, right? Okay, so we discussed regarding the frictional loss in the straight pipe only, right? So how about fittings, right? Fittings, valves, elbow and alls. We have to use this chart, right? This table is from taken from NFPA 13 23 4311, right? In this one, in the vertical column, we have types of the fittings and valves, and here we have different sizes, right? You can see different size. So the value they have given in the feet or meter of the pipe and the size they have given into the vertical direction. How we have to take that one, right? Let's start now from, let's say, in between two nodes. Now note this, what is that, suppose this is a pipe, right? This is node 1 and node 2, and we have one T, right? This T is going to some other direction. So now between node 1 and 2 we have one T, right? So what is the diameter of the pipe? Based on that we have to put the number of T's. So let's say between node 1 and 2 we have a T or cross, right? Let's say we have a 6-inch pipe. Let's say we have a 6-inch pipe here, right? And there is one number of T in between that. So what is the equivalent rate of that one? So go all the way from this line to here and come perpendicular from the 6-inch pipe, right? So the meaning of that, we have to convert the equivalent pipe into the straight one, right? Now this T, which is 6 inch in size, the friction loss in this tree will be equal to 30 feet of the pipe, right? The frictional loss in this pipe will be equivalent to 30 feet of the pipe in the straight pipe. We have to calculate in the straight pipe, right? So this is how we have to come over this chart. Now, how about gate valve or butterfly valve? Let's say we have a 6-inch butterfly valve, right? We have 6-inch butterfly valve, come all the way from here. Here we have a butterfly valves, come to this point, right? In 6-inch butterfly valve, we have 6-inch butterfly valve equivalent pipe length will be equal to 10 feet or 3 meters, right? And if you are taking for the gate valve for the 6-inch size, right, we have a equivalent pipe length of only 3 meters. So now compare these two values, butterfly valve and the gate valve. The equivalent length of the pipe of the gate valve and the butterfly valve of 6-inch is different, right? The butterfly valve is three times higher than the gate valve. What is the reason behind that? The reason is that, you know, in the butterfly valve, the disc always hangs inside the pipe. So there is a high friction loss due to the turbulence of the water into the disc. In the gate valve, the gate is totally outside the waterway, outside the pipe, if it is open fully, right? This is the reason why we cannot use butterfly valve for suction side of the fire pump unit up to a distance of 50 feet, because that 50 feet considered as a safe distance to convert all to avoid all the turbulence and convert it to the laminar flow. So this table give us idea about how to convert the number of fittings into equivalent pipe length. We can easily put these values into the software like Elite, PipeNet, Haas, and all software. We have the different kind of the software. We can use directly these values and put inside the software to get into the calculation. If you have not used the fittings into the software and all, you know, your friction loss, your calculation is not accurate, and the consultant might not approve your design. Okay, the last one, we have the resistance coefficient, right? Remember we discussed this table, which is for the straight pipe, right? So the straight pipe and all for C100 and SQL 45. Then we discuss for the equivalent pipe length chart for common fittings. Common means the one which is available in the market, is like elbows, T, cross, butterfly valve, swing check valve, gate valve, and so on. But how about this kind of the fittings? This kind of the connection, right? Which we cannot get value directly from that table, and it is not available easily in the market, right? Maybe you are fabricating by yourself. So how to find the friction loss in these fittings, right? Let's say this is a sharp opening, sharp edge inlet. What is the frictional resistance coefficient for that one? How we are going to calculate the friction loss into that? For that, we have resistance coefficient formula, which is equal to K over V, K into V square by 2Z, right? Where K is a dimensionless loss coefficient, right? Normally, you know, if we don't have standard fittings like this, we can use these values into this formula, right? Into this formula, H is K equals to K B square over 2Z, where S is equal to FL. This formula, following derivation of the same formula, if you can come, you know, it is sometimes convenient to express such loss in terms of equivalent length of straight pipe or as pipe diameters that produce the same head loss, thus by Darcy-Weisbach formula, right? So this is all about the frictional loss, how we are going to calculate for this kind of the shapes. Okay, and here we come to the end of the this module. We discussed about Chezy equations, Darcy-Weisbach, and Hazen-Williams formulas. We discussed about the various tables, chart, graph, and so on. Now here is the exercise, how to use these tutorials to apply successfully for our day-to-day professional life into fire protection service. The first example we have a pipe, right? The pipe is 8-inch pipe. The length of the pipe is 600 feet, and the flow is going 100 GPM, 1000 GPM inside the pipe. 1000 GPM flow, 600 feet length of the pipe, and the diameter we have 8 inch. The C factor is 120, which is for the galvanized steel, and it is used for the wet pipe sprinkler system. So what is the frictional loss between two end of the pipe, which is 600 feet of 8-inch pipe, 1000 GPM flow, right? The first one we have to do to find a solution, we have to go to table D, right, with 1000 GPM flow and 8-inch pipe. Let's go back now. Right, here we come. What is the flow? The flow is the 1000 GPM. We have the flow here. The flow we have the 1000 GPM, and the pipe size we have 8-inch, right? This is 8-inch. So this is half-inch, 3, 4, all the way to the 4, and from after that we have 5-inch, 6-inch, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so forth. So this is the value of 8-inch, right? We have to come 1000 and 8-inch, which is 1.28. So if water is flowing into a 8-inch pipe and the flow is 1000 GPM, the friction loss is 1.28 for 100 feet of the pipe, right? So 1.28, from here we can take this value and now apply here. From table D, the loss is 1.28 psi, right? And now that table, remember I discussed that table is for C factor of 100 only, right? Now here we have 120 C factors. So we have to use table E, which is here we have, right? This table we have to use. So we have frictional, we have C factor of 120. So the factor we have 0.714. So we have to multiply that value by 0.714. Coming to the solution again, right? For C120, we have 0.714 factors, right? So the final friction loss in 600 feet of the pipe, we have to multiply all. The first one, we have 1.28 psi for 100 feet of the pipe multiplied by 6. Why 6? Because the length is 600 feet and the table is only for 100 feet. So 1.28 psi for 100 feet multiplied by 6 for 600 feet, right? Into 0.714, which is for C factor other than 100. And finally, we come to a solution of 5.48 psi, the friction loss we have. This is all about this exercise. The next one we have to find the friction loss in a pipe. The pipe we have now cement line ductile iron pipe with C factor of 140, and it is used for underground fire water networks. 8-inch pipe, length is 100 feet. The flow is 850 GPM between one end to other end. The length is 1000 GPM. Sorry, 1000 feet. So what is the friction loss we have here, right? Let's apply the skill that one we discussed a while ago. From table D again, 1000 GPM in 8-inch pipe. Let's go back. Okay, we have 1000 GPM in 8-inch pipe. The value is 1.28. Sorry, it was not 1000, it is 850, I think. So 850 into 8-inch pipe. Let's go to the question to see exact what is the value of the flow. Okay, it is 850 GPM into 8-inch pipe, right? So in 850 GPM and 8-inch pipe, we have a friction loss of of 0.948, right? To take the value of 0.948, moving on to the question now. So we have a friction loss of 0.948 psi from table D for 100 feet of the pipe, right? Now again, the frictional factor, the one we discussed, because that table they have taken for C100, C factor of 100, but now we have C140. So let's go back now to get from that table this value. For C140, right, we have to multiply by frictional factor of 0.537. Multiply here 0.714. It is for C120, right? 120 we have 0.714, right? And Again, the length of the pipe is 600 feet. So we have to use the same 1.28 PSI multiplied by 6. Sorry. We are at exercise 2, not in exercise 1. Right? So from table D, we take a loss of 0.948 PSI for 100 GPM, 1000 GPM flow into 8-inch pipe. C140 value is 0.537 and the length of the pipe is 1000 feet. So multiplied by 10 because this value is only for 100 feet of the length. So we have to multiply it by 10. And finally, we are here at 6.87 PSI. This is our friction loss. But this is not our exact answer because now here we have different types of the pipe compared to schedule 40 pipe, right? Schedule 40 carbon steel pipe. Then the next slide, we have the final solution for that. Since different types of pipe, which is cement line ductile iron, used instead of a schedule 40 steel pipe, we have to use this formula as I discussed in the beginning, right? So using this formula from the data sheet or from the various research or technical data sets, we can find that for class 350 8-inch ductile iron pipe, right? The internal diameter we have, internal diameter of schedule, internal diameter of actual pipe we have 8.43 inch. Right? This value we can take from the data sheet of the manufacturer, or we can find directly in NFPA 13, NFPA 24, or you can find directly this one into the software calculation. We can just use that one. So 8.43, we have the actual pipe, internal diameter of actual pipe, and at the top we have 7.981, which is the internal diameter of schedule 40 carbon steel pipe. Multiply this one by 6.87, which one we have 6.87 is our frictional loss. Here is our final frictional loss 6.87 psi, right, to the power 4.87. So finally we have come to a solution of the final answer. We have 5.26 psi, right? So this is the friction loss of 5.26 psi for a pipe of length of 100 feet. Why friction loss is so less? Because the flow is only 850 GPM and the pipe size is 8 inch. If we decrease the pipe size and increase the flow, then we have higher friction loss. Okay, so this is all about exercise 1 and 2. Now, to make you guys, understand this discussion or the friction loss in fire protection service more easy, I have given some of the exercise. You have to do test yourself. The first one we have, what is the equivalent pipe length for 6-inch butterfly valve? The second we have equivalent pipe length for 6-inch gate valve. And the third one we have, ask yourself why friction loss in butterfly valve is higher than gate valve. And exercise 4, which is the last one, is talking about calculate total friction loss for 600 LPM flow, so 200 meter of nominal 2-inch pipe with C factor of 120. And there is three 90-degree elbows, 1 T, 90-degree turns, and 2 butterfly valves. So you have to solve all these 4 questions by yourself. If you have any doubt into that, you can put into the comment box, right? I will be more than happy to help you on these topics. Okay, so here we come to the end of this module, which is friction loss in fire protection service pipe and fittings and all. We discussed about all those formulas, changes, equations, Darcy-Weisbach bars, Hazen-Williams, and so on. If you have any doubt, suggestion, comment, or any input, you can connect me to